The idea that Jimmy Carrey is a terrorist is so heaped with fraternity syphilis that I would imagine even Pittsburgh would be a place it would raise hackles. Toon announced, just grasping at an insult that he could throw, that liberals were Palestinians. And I suppose he imagines that I will throw down my hat and say, yes, I too am a Palestinian, like JFK saying, Ich ein der Berliner. How could I possibly get away with? Notice I smile at how cute I am and how clever. How could I possibly get away with calling myself a Palestinian? They are an ancient people on an ancient land being driven off in violation of international treaties and agreements. They have pride of place. It's not my precinct. As an observer, I can see what's going on. I'm certainly mortified. It makes me realize that if there was a fight between Israel and the United States, a whole lot of American kids would be under hypnosis and on glue. And a lot of Israeli children would be in air conditioned houses partying, partying, partying. There's some people I don't understand who uh, are very adversarial to Israel. I find it understandable, but I don't think they either understand the situation or being very honest about it. Because the rave was targeted in exactly the same way as Gaza was targeted by the exactly the same forces. Egypt, UAW, Jordan, the people who are in power, the magnates, the oligarchs, the people loyal to Trumpy tune. Anyway, I've seen people try to be reasonable with Israeli logic, and I always tell them it's just a weapon to try to make them you reason with them. They know that they're being unreasonable. They know that they're being violent and cruel. And one of the ways that they're cruel to try to break your mind is to make it look as though they're reasonable. John Stockwell used to talk about it, how victim of torture would reach out to the malefactors and try to reason with them as if they were human. And they would keep laughing at you like Peter Gabriel. These are people who are fundamentally different. Ayn Rand talks about it too. She talks, the sculptor says, can you imagine anything more onerous than to be locked into a room with a beast of prey or a ravaged criminal or a member of King Crimson, particularly their bass player, and you say the most profound things and they keep glowing at you, licky chops with a will all their own. Why bother? It's not, when then they tell you, don't talk to policemen. I mean, if it's a social call, I'm perfectly willing to talk to policemen. But if they're out, they'll lie on the tables if they come after you. They'll put words in your mouth that you didn't even say. I've seen these kinds of things happen. I got laughed at by a police psychiatrist who said I believed I was kidnapped and tortured as a child. And so it was a figment of my imagination that I was dragged up the street in freezing cold weather in a stolen car by the Piedmonts. And so I made that up. It's not that I'm against police integrity or them being part of my community, but there's a line in the sand there that they just kick, which is called rhyme and reason when they feel like it. At least in Seattle. I don't know how things are in Pittsburgh anymore. So that long-haired, scrawny kid crying and hiding in the towel closet was a terrorist. Just what I suspected when I heard he was on the same ship as George Bush. You remember my old punk rock song? I won't even swat that fly. I won't even swat that fly. I've always had my doubts since getting Parkinson's. Look at me. I'm a young man. They give me Parkinson's. I can't write. I can't squeeze boobies. They've chucked me out the door. Man with my inclinations, intonations, and accents, my talents, my history, my knowledge. I've often doubted that I would survive Toon's second coming. Look what he's doing. He's allowing vigilantes to get sworn in to break windows of traumatized people who are here under lawful measures of the courts. And they just die to see you deck one of them. So they can say you didn't do it by the appropriate process. If you disagree, you're supposed to petition the government for redress. Maybe a lawyer will help you. A lawyer, get a lawyer.